Now that's what I call high quality H2O.
Okay, the environment. How does natural sanitation save the environment? It saves the environment because chlorine pools have to be drained and refilled on a regular basis. It's a fact that chlorine pools require cyanuric acid stabilizer, CYA, in order to protect chlorine from the UV of the sun. Otherwise, chlorine would dissipate very quickly. In a matter of 24 hours, you lose a lot of chlorine very quickly. So you could add a lot of chlorine to a pool and it dissipate just from UV and not even get used on anything without stabilizer. The problem is every chlorine tab has stabilizer in it. So after a while, the chlorine manufacturers do that on purpose because the tabs that they sell you wouldn't last. You'd fill your chlorinator or your floater up with chlorine pucks, and you would never have any chlorine in the pool because it doesn't last unless it's stabilized. So they all add it. So the problem is the only way to reduce stabilizer levels is by dilution. Yes, there are a couple of people out there that say they have a system that can do it. You're going to spend a lot of money to have them come by your house and pump all of your water through their system and back into your pool. There's nothing cost effective about it. Most people can't do that. So what ends up happening is pools get drained and refilled on a regular basis. If you have a sand filter, the pool's getting backwashed regularly. If you have a DE filter, it's getting backwashed regularly. A sand filter is the most, though. We recommend cartridge filters for this reason, because you don't have to backwash cartridge filters, and whenever you clean the cartridges, you lose very little water in the process. But your chlorine pool has to be stabilized. When those stabilizer levels get too high over time, chlorine loses its effectiveness. It's as if it were overprotected by the stabilizer. So initially, the proper levels of stabilizer, 30 to 50 parts per million, provide protection to the chlorine. But when you start getting over 100 parts, 200 parts, 300 parts, I've seen it out before, and even more, you have so much protection of the chlorine that the chlorine can't even do its job and kill bacteria in the pool that it's there for. So the pool has to be, in order to regain the effectiveness of the chlorine, the pool has to be diluted. Otherwise, your chlorine loses effectiveness and you begin to have algae issues because your chlorine's not effective, because too much stabilizer. And so you're adding all this chlorine, which costs a lot of money, by the way, and you keep adding chlorine and shocking the pool, but you're still having algae issues because your stabilizer levels are through the roof. So your chlorine is ineffective. So you have to drain and refill the pool. An average pool is 20,000 gallons. We're talking about a pretty fair amount of water. I've been meaning to Google how much water your average residential home will use in a year. And I'll check that out maybe and post it in one of these future videos. But I can tell you that 20,000 gallons is a lot of water, and it probably lasts most households a very long time. I would probably guess like at least 6 months or more, really. So anyway, it's something we could look at. But the point is you've got 20,000 gallons of water. And okay, look, I know no one pool is going to make a difference. It's like if one person litters, does it really matter? But if we're all throwing our trash out the window, it makes a big difference. Okay? If you look at how many pools are around Austin, as a pool guy, this is something I've looked at. I've observed Austin. I've broken it down. I know where all the pools are. I know where there's a ton of pools in Austin, guys. We're talking like thousands and thousands and maybe tens of thousands, maybe 100,000. There's more than 100,000. There's a lot of pools around here. It's hard to count them all. I've tried. It's hard. You lose track. If you were to take that number of pools and multiply that 20,000 gallons, these pools are having to be diluted. I don't know. It depends, okay? So some pools will make it 3 years before they need drained and refilled again due to high cyanuric acid levels. Some pools will make it 5. Every once in a while, somebody will make it 10. I don't really see that often. Like if you haven't drained and refilled your pool in 10, here's what really is happening, is it means you're draining and refilling your pool on such a regular basis that you don't ever have to do a full drain and refill or a half, because you're already doing it so often. So there's no way to get around diluting the stabilizer in the pool. It has to be done. So there's a massive amount of wastewater involved in chlorine pools, and almost every pool out there, guys, is chlorine. Like, the salt pools is a very small fraction. Okay, it's getting hot. As I was saying, the camera overheated again, but as I was saying, non-chlorine pools are a very, very small fraction. We're talking like 1%, maybe 1% of the pools out there are non-chlorine pools. So this is, whenever you consider the amount of water that's having to be drained and refilled on a regular basis to satiate the appetite of the chlorine of the pool, which is toxic and not good for the environment in any way, it's an incredible amount of wastewater. Honestly, I don't even know how to calculate it. What I can tell you, those guys, is check out our lake. You know, the lake water level. I've got a friend down in, I think it's Dripping Springs. He said that they won't allow people, they're not giving permits for people to build pools right now because the water in the aquifers is so low. I know we've kind of been here before. The water in the lake right now is the 7th lowest it's ever been. If it loses 10 more feet of water, it'll be the 4th lowest. And if it loses 10 more feet after that, it'll be the lowest it's ever been. It's 50 feet low right now. The average depth of Lake Travis is 60 feet. So if it loses another 10 feet, it's going to be like any more than that, and it's going to be lower than its average depth, which is crazy. If you haven't been down there in a while, that Sometimes Island is completely, like, it's a large area now. So, but anyhow, so you can see where saving water could be very beneficial. I mean, just generally speaking, you know, I know any one of us doesn't really, it's like the littering thing, you know, like one person throwing trash out the window. You know, yeah, it's bad, but it's the cumulative. It's all of us. And 99% of the pools out there, guys, are chlorine pools that cost more money and have negative health effects compared to a copper pool that costs less money and has positive health effects and is good for the environment. So health, money, and environment, the natural copper pool system is the way to go. There's a few things that come with it that I don't really mention, but I'll just throw them in there real quick. It comes with like a descaling, a descaler that helps prevent the scale. It doesn't remove the scale from the water, but it helps prevent it from being able to adhere to the wall and the water line. So it comes with a descaler. It also comes with an oxidizer. So you get the powerful oxidizing effect that really helps in conjunction with the natural sanitation as well. So you also get UV sanitation. All of this comes with the natural sanitation system. So save your health, save your money, save your local environment, and let's all do this together, guys. We're giving it away. We don't charge anything. You can look up the cost of it on the manufacturer's website. I'll be sure to link it. We're using Clearwater Environments natural sanitation system. The only thing we charge for is labor to install. And we even give you guys deals on that if you like sign up for regular maintenance. We're the best ones at maintaining natural pools. So if you're gonna have a natural pool and you're not gonna do it yourself, we're the best ones to have doing it. It doesn't cost any more than, it costs less than chlorine pool maintenance because you're not spending money on chlorine. Chlorine tabs are granular shock. All the costs are the same. We don't charge any more for that service. It's just as much as regular pool service is. The only difference is we're not having to sell you chlorine anymore. So, all right, guys, it's been good. I'll be seeing you more. Check out the YouTube channel. Follow me. I'll be posting stuff all the time. All right, have a good day. Later.